What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. With this video, we are jumping into X-Men issue number 11. If you haven't been keeping up with this series, be sure to check out the link in my description, as well as the top of this video. It is gonna get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you guys are wondering why we didn't cover Avengers X-Men issue number 1, which is leading into Judgment Day, this is a story that came out for Free Comic Book Day. Unfortunately, Marvel did not release a digital copy of this comic, which is a huge freaking letdown, because I live 50 miles away from a comic book shop. I buy almost everything exclusively digitally. I wasn't able to make it out, so I haven't even read that story yet. Honestly, I'm probably gonna have to buy it on eBay or Amazon or something like that. I hope that they do come out with something so we can see it digitally. I can show you guys all the stuff that's building up, because what I did see is that Moira supposedly is taking the skin of Mary Jane to get into the Hellfire Gala of 2022. And we have already seen her use this trick once to enter into Krakoa. But until that happens, right now the X-Men are focusing on one of the big threats that have been hanging and looming in the distance. And that comes down to Gameworld. They have been placing bets on the Sol system, sending one world-ending event after another to try and destroy all of mutant kind. The X-Men have decided to go onto the offensive. Be sure to buy the comic, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into issue number 11, we are picking up with Mojo. This is not too long ago, and what he learned is Cordyceps Jones, the fungal infection that has taken over more or less all of Gameworld. Mojo had every intention of taking Gameworld for himself, but now that Mr. Jones has taken that from him, he gives orders to make it look like they are shorting Earth. He wants Earth, the X-Men, the Avengers, them to be the biggest jackpot out there, knowing that when this happens, when the attacks start coming down on the Sol system, that Cordyceps Jones is gonna have the X-Men breathing down his throat. And that's what brings us to present day. Walking in like this is Ocean's 11. We have Polaris, Marvel Girl, Rogue, and Wolverine. And they have come to do some gambling, getting some credit because they have Mysterium, a highly sought after element. This gives them enough credit to do whatever the heck they want when it comes to gambling. The X-Men have only just recently learned about the wagers set against Earth, Krakoa, all of the X-Men, the whole Sol system. But their biggest clue came from Rocket the Raccoon. He gives them the lowdown on everything that is going on with this place, from side blockers to side dampeners. They do their best on Gameworld to ensure that people with psychic abilities, they can't really alter the course of the gambling. Of course, this has never been tested on someone like Jean Grey. More than anything though, he is happy that he got to see Gameworld before the X-Men go in and take this place down. And so with our ladies sticking to whatever plan that they have created up, not letting us know just yet, but they all go off in their opposite directions. Meanwhile, we have Sync and Captain Krakoa, aka Cyclops, who has to wear this ridiculous disguise because everyone believes Cyclops to be dead. In the sewers of New Jersey, they are looking for Dr. Stasis. Dr. Stasis being another big problem that the X-Men have really been trying to face off with and take care of. And as these two go through the sewers, they have a conversation about how they've been lying to the Avengers, not letting the Avengers know anything about what is going on, lying about all of Gameworld and all of these outside threats that have been hitting them. Of course, the Avengers aren't falling for this, but Cyclops has to ask the question, why are we keeping this information from them? What good does it do not to tell them that we are a giant pinata for Gameworld? Making their way through the sewers, Sync currently grabbed the abilities of Wolverine, hoping that his heightened senses would be able to help them hunt down Dr. Stasis. With our two heroes splitting up and going in opposite directions, ends, we pick back up on Gameworld. This is where we see Wolverine. She's trying to scout out all of the security. Not really sure if she is trying to get captured here. As some of these guards pass by, she drops down. They look behind them, and this is where they see Wolverine. Mr. Jones making his arrival, letting it be known that they knew she was here because of her adamantium. Before she can even make a move, she is getting attacked by fungus. This fungus being parasitic, it completely takes her over and it takes control. This is how Jones is able to operate without anybody trying to take him out. This is how he gained control of Gameworld, and this is exactly why Mojo had set all of this up so the X-Men would attack him. With Wolverine looking like she is captured, we are taken back to the sewers in New Jersey. Synch has found himself face to face with Borin, and Dr. Stasis is having him burn every single one of the bodies that he has ever created. He is cleaning house and starting from scratch. Borin not even really caring that Synch is here, but he is letting it be known that he's not afraid of Synch because at the end of the day, he's just a guy that is pretending to be Wolverine, facing the actual Wolverine himself. Synch doesn't terrify him. Without skipping a beat, we see the tiger jump at him. Unfortunately, Borin doesn't know that Synch was literally Wolverine for hundreds of years. All of that time that he spent inside of the vault, you could say that he is actually one of the oldest Wolverines that has ever lived. And I have to take a minute to say how much I love this Synch is getting all this attention. It has been for quite some time. They are building him up time and time again. And at the end of the day, it is kind of true. There is a possibility that Synch could beat Wolverine at his very own game. And that's just because Synch has so much time. He has all of this wisdom, living literally centuries inside the vault. This is no small feat. And with all of that time, that also comes with all of the knowledge, the ability to hone his skills, to hone his ability to sync up with other people. Every time they give him a little bit of spotlight, I am going to make sure to give this man his flowers because, man, he is one of the strongest forces that is currently on Krakoa. And if we see him truly unleash, what potential lies underneath the surface? I have a feeling that we are just barely grasping at what is underneath. Taking us back over to Gameworld, Polaris has found herself a new dress. She went shopping, but their main goal was to overload all of the slot machines. As these slot machines begin to pour out money, all of the security, it rushes over. With all of the pawns now out of the way, the queen slides into position. The queen, of course, is Jean Grey. Witnessing the death of a very young but rich planet, she vows that this is never gonna happen again. Grabbing the attention of the entire room, she lets it be known that this game is over, that they have had enough amusement of destroying so many worlds. You guys have threatened Earth, Krakoa, Mars, the entire Sol system, and now you must face the consequences. And while some of them laugh this off, we see her start breaking hands, letting them know that not even the Phoenix could control her. What chance does anybody here actually have? Letting all of the gamblers know that this is the only opportunity you have. This will be the only mercy you are given. Run now for your lives before she changes her mind. Calling out Mr. Jones, she turns around to find Wolverine, the guards, and Jones himself. Wolverine having this fungus attached to her face. She is commanded to attack Jean Grey. Jumping in, Jean is able to push her away. Unfortunately, the fungus begins to grab hold of her. Jones believing that he might have one of the strongest weapons. Having Jean Grey under his control, the previous Phoenix. If he can get control of Jean Grey, there will be nobody that challenges him. That's what brings us down back into the sewers, and we have Cyclops meeting up with Dr. Stasis. Stasis ready for any kind of fight that they might bring to his doorstep. He is actually quite insulted when he finds out that only Cyclops is the one here. Dr. Stasis truly believed that they were going to bring in a whole army to take him down. But Cyclops, he has some revenge to serve. Dr. Stasis is the guy that killed him. He is the whole reason that now Cyclops has to be Captain Krakoa, ready to give a little bit of payback. We see the fight break out between the two of them. While Dr. Stasis might think that he has the upper hand, Cyclops has come here to play for keeps. And we see an optic blast that blows the mask right off of Dr. Stasis. And once Cyclops sees who this actually is, it puts him at pause. Because who this is Mr. Sinister himself. But this Mr. Sinister, it is not the one that we know back on Krakoa, or at least that is what they are leading us to believe. But that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. In the next issue, we are gonna get the sinister origins of Dr. Stasis. And I love how big of a role Sinister is starting to play. No, don't get me wrong, he's had a relatively big role this whole time, but he has been one of my favorite aspects of this new Krakoan era. Moreover, it's because he has been manipulating the timelines. He has been using Moira's ability to restart timelines, and we don't even know to what extent. But this Mr. Sinister, while he knows who the X-Men are, he knows who Cyclops is, so on and so forth, but he doesn't seem to know them on the same basis as the Sinister that is currently on the Quiet Council, possibly being yet another clone, or maybe just some other offshoot of Sinister from all of these Moira restarts. Now, if they're not careful with this can get very convoluted very quickly, but it seems so far that they're playing this just right. And I am really excited to dig more into Sinister and everything that he has been doing, because this could literally change everything that has been happening throughout the entire Power of X, House of X, Hickman run, everything that we have seen so far since the rise of Krakoa. It could easily be wiped away by the flick of a wrist. As easy as Thanos making half of the entirety of the universe disappear. So it's going to be interesting how they navigate through all of these freaking muddy waters. What I really am happy to see is that we are finally getting some conclusions to everything that has been stacked against our X-Men and the island of Krakoa. Because Dr. Stasis, aka a Sinister clone, he has been working with Orcus. Orcus and Dr. Sinister, they have been fighting the X-Men on two fronts. Not only that, you have Gameworld as well. Add in everything going on with the Eternals, add in everything going on with Sabretooth. At one point in time, it truly did look like all of the X-Men Krakoa was gonna have its downfall, and it was coming very quickly. But slowly but surely, they are taking on all of these obstacles one at a time. Of course, the biggest threats out there are Moira and Sinister. With the Hellfire Gala 2022 gonna be coming up here in the near future, we can expect to see a lot more of Moira and possibly the downfall of mutant kind. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by hitting the super thanks button. This button will let you donate directly to the channel, and every little bit helps us out. Now, if you can't do that, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you like this video, and until the next breakdown.